Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cloud Custodian community meeting for March 5th. I think the main issue, the only agenda item I really had in here was that there's a release close, and as part of preparing for the release, we found Kapil found this issue with the plugin that we use under the hood to freeze to pin package versions in our wheels. So that I'll have to take a look at that later. I think for the time being, we just pinned urllib3 at a version below 2 so that we can get this thing to work and get a release out. Kapil, are you aware of any other release blockers, or that's the only one, and we'll have to come back to this?
That's the only one that's current for this release, and I'm hopeful that will happen the next few hours today. As far as getting that release out the door, I believe the binaries are now cut and tested, and that's all that remains.
Cool. Yes, thanks. And yeah, thanks for the links to some of that stuff with the freeze issue. Definitely have to figure out what's going on there, because I thought it was with the export thing we were depending on, and nope, that handles it fine. It's just the freeze, so that's good. Okay, so any other things to bring up? So Stephen, I know you had in the last meeting, you were asking about one of the PRs that you wanted to get into this release, and I saw Kapil, you had approved to merge that one in. Any other questions, release or otherwise, from you, Stephen or Patush?
No, thanks for getting that approved and merged in. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, I don't have any specific PRs for the release, but I had opened up an issue that was related to caching responses of list account aliases API call. I think it's 9329. Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. So there's a function in accounts.py which does not, like, the response of this API does not seem to be getting cached, and this is the only API call that we are getting throttled on. So I was trying to play around with it and see if we could do some sort of caching. And I was also I did find a class for in-memory cache in cache.py, which I could potentially use and test to see. For example, if we have multiple policies targeting resource account, the list account alias API call happens for every policy, and this would potentially help do it once per account region or per.
You broke up a bit there, Kapil. What was that?
Yeah, so I would love to get some feedback on this, like whenever you get a chance, AJ or Kapil.
Yeah. I was actually wondering if we were using a resource manager to pull accounts, and if so, if we should put that alias, try to get that during the augment so it would get cached.
Right.
But okay, all right. So you were setting something up here. Okay.
Yeah, so I tried to put it into a class with a self.cache, which was using the in-memory cache, and I used the cache key as the account ID and the alias and account name as the value, which was the response from the list account aliases API call.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for following. I mean, that does sound like a good issue, something that we would want to get figured out soon enough to keep calling that. You're saying it was doing it one per policy too, huh? Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's the only thing from my side.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that deserves a look. So Stephen, there was nothing else from your side, Pratush. And I guess, Kristen, anything from you?
No, I'm good, thanks.
No, cool. All right, it looks like Kapil was on the road. Okay, so I guess that's the summary then is release coming soon. I'd like to get this freeze issue sorted out before the next one so we can get rid of that temporary pin that we have on Neuralib 3. And we'll have to look into this caching thing with the aliases. Okay. I would say if anyone is looking at issues, I've been filing some relatively low priority feature request type items. So if it happens to strike a nerve and someone says, "Oh yeah, I really need that too," that's fine. But there's not like super high urgency on these things.
Are you also actively working on those, or is it possible for me to pick up some of those?
If you would like to, that would be great.
Okay.
I would hug you. that would be cool.
Cool.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely don't have a claim on them or anything. If I start working on something, I'll self-assign it, but no, I'm just getting the request in for now. I know you had mentioned in one of the previous calls too that you had an internal list that you were working off, so I don't know if any of that is worth filing here.
Yeah, that was most of them were bug reports and
Okay.
resources around Bedrock. I also have an issue that was trying to extend copy related tags. So you know how when we create a Lambda or ECS task definition, AWS creates a log group under the hood and that log group doesn't get tagged. So we are getting a lot of traction internally about non-tagged CloudWatch log groups. And yeah, I was trying to see if there was a PR previously from someone. I don't have it handy, but I can send it your way, which I think is Sunny commented on that. Like he suggested a different way to approach that problem, but that was, from what I understood, it was more of extending copy related tag actions to log groups that would like parse out the log group name, go back to the resource, and then yeah, this one. Yep,
Oh, is that
you
this
have
one? Okay.
it. Yep.
Okay. Oh, but this is. Oh, that seems. Copy resource. Okay.
Yeah, so there's no linkage from a CloudWatch log group to the underlying resource. The only linkage is in the name. So I think what was suggested here was to look at the log group name, parse out the underlying resource name, go back to the resource, read the tags, and copy them over.
Okay. Yeah, I'm wondering if this one, I would have to go back and see if it actually makes sense, because I know that it looks like these comments were before we had that custom custodian James Path split function.
Yep.
Where we can put in those split keys. I'm like, oh, if we need to remove a prefix, could we do that with a key expression that used the James Path split? I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't like looked into it, but this is something I'm like planning to work on.
Oh, cool. Nice. Thanks. And then I saw a phone come in. I think phone is Kapil.
Yep.
Cool. You were starting to mention something earlier about the account alias caching that Prasush was talking about.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna try to join on actual device.
I think you're on mute. Bill.
Yeah, I see. Okay, it's I didn't know it was on AWS that account. That's a little weird because I would imagine the resources would be cached. Like the default behavior for the resource should be to be cached there. But because like any resource manager should be getting their output should be cached across multiple policies.
Yeah, this function does not seem to be inside a resource manager. This is just a standalone function. Yeah, if you
Okay.
I have attached
Yeah.
the link to the function. Probably it's a little bit up if
That's
you
that
scroll
get
up.
account one you're talking about. Yeah, I do see that that looks like a total, just kind of a one-off outside of there. So
Well, I mean, there's another possibility here, which is where we would call this account aliases, which is the notify action. Will also do it. So I think there's potentially two places where we'd probably want to look to minimize the usage on that API, if that's the goal.
Gotcha.
And then a little bit unrelated to this, but we've been I might fire up a separate email thread. I think we probably need a little bit of help getting over the line in our security assessment from CNCF on the third-party audit. I think they've got some stuff they want us to do. I'm just looking for people that can help because I'm kind of backed up right now myself. But yeah, I'll
absolutely. I'm happy to help if this help needed.
Much appreciated. I will kick off a separate thread and I'll add you to that thread that's already going with them about it, and we can try to figure out what to do next.
Sounds good.
cool. Regarding this caching thing, I guess instead of using this get account, I was just wondering if we could move that logic into an augment on that account resource so it would benefit from the caching, or if there's a reason that it's not handled in an augment.
I think it's just because it's a weird resource because it's a self-reflexive, but there's no reason it shouldn't be. I mean, I think that would solve the issue without us having to do anything specific to it. If we just had either an augment method or a custom describe source here. I think it's predated like describe sources just being able to be specified on the class as a mapping. So we might just, if we had a custom describe source, that should also resolve it. But potentially we still want to do some degree of additional caching here just because of notify actions. If you're notify heavy, then potentially that's also another place you'll see this. Although the volume there should be significant. I mean, it's still like a once a policy type of thing. So yeah, that's also potentially a place where we would benefit from that.
So probably to create a describe source class kind of thing and writing an augment function that would like make the API call and potentially store the responses.
Yeah, if we have a custom describe source for this, then with an augment function or even just a get resources method, then the rest of the resource caching that we use for other resources will just work for this out of the box.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for that. Any other issues? Any other topics to bring up? All right. Well then, fine. I think we're done here.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.
See you next time.
Thanks all.